Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name is Corey, better known as the Seaman. Now I want to welcome you to another edition of the Seaman's Cinema Sit Down. So this weekend brings yet another blockbuster for the summer. And once again, critics kind of slamming this blockbuster flick. And I'm going to just say it right now. I think critics are forgetting that like simple kick back, eat some popcorn, cool off in the middle of the summer movie that just has fun action or adventure or silly stories. They're good movies. You know, they don't have to be super highbrow. That's the feeling I've been getting lately. And let the Seaman tell you, man, don't let it discourage you. I think the audience scores are a little bit more in line with where these movies land. And this one is another one that you can go have a nice, fun time. Simple. Turn your brain off and enjoy some fun alien action. Oh, you know where I'm going, man. Pull up a chair. Take a seat. We're getting ready to dive in, spoiler-free, into Men in Black International. Now, I think a lot of people would have been like, oh, I'm not surprised that the critics trashed Men in Black International. Sure. I think a lot of us were interested to see what would happen, but we're excited that Tessa Thompson and Chris Hemsworth were teaming up yet again, and that worked so well in Ragnarok. You would just hope that they'd work here. You know, like let their charisma and chemistry and just the way they interact on screen carry the movie. And that's exactly what this thing does. And it's really enjoyable. Look, the script is fairly simple. It's very basic. And in all honesty, it kind of feels more like the first Men in Black. Where you're kind of chasing after the one focal alien, sort of. I mean, there's a couple of different aliens, but it doesn't bombard you with like a ton of different aliens, which the later movies did. It keeps it kind of more localized and simple, and I like that, man. It was easy, like I said, easy to turn your brain off to and just enjoy two characters having a good time on screen. So, in case you're unfamiliar with Men in Black International, this is a soft reboot to the franchise started by Will Smith and Tommy Lee Jones back in 1996. It is the first Men in Black film to not feature either of the boys, and the only returning cast member is Emma Thompson, who plays Agent O, who kind of is running the show in New York, and that's her kind of in to this movie, right? At least for Tessa Thompson, who's parents, as we've seen in the trailers, kind of get normalized, but she doesn't after an alien encounter. And now her whole life she's been looking for the Men in Black. Finds them and then begs them, says, please, let me join you. And, she's basically like, how many people have found the Men in Black? I deserve to be here. And, she had done training for other, organizations like the FBI, the CIA, stuff like that. So she's really smart. So Emma Thompson gives her a go and says, okay, we're going to send you to London International, where she meets up with Agent High T, who's played by Liam Neeson. He kind of runs the show over there. And his top agent, Agent H, is, of course, Chris Hemsworth. And like I said, man, this team up just works time and time again. At least that's what I'm learning so far. I think they're 2 for 2. I really enjoy watching Chris Hemsworth and Tessa Thompson on screen together. And what I really liked about their characters is they're like an interesting mix of Will Smith and Tommy Lee Jones in the sense that, like, the agent is, like Tommy Lee Jones is Chris Hemsworth here, and he's kind of the more superior agent. When it comes to driving the car, he's the one that's always driving. Tessa Thompson, like Will Smith, is the newbie, wants to drive. That type of stuff is in the movie, but then also kind of mixed into both characters. Tessa Thompson, a little bit more like Tommy Lee Jones, where she is really smart, plays everything by the book. And Chris Hemsworth, a little bit more of a loose cannon, the way Will Smith was. So it's an interesting merge of both characters kind of in both of these two characters, in Agent H and Agent M. And I think they both do a really good job, man. They're fun. You enjoy watching them. Their action sequences are a good time. Their comedy and humor, although it doesn't hit as often as I think it does in like Ragnarok. And some of that, has to do with the script here. It's not perfect. But I mean, it's more than an enjoyable, watchable movie, and it's mostly because of Tessa Thompson and Chris Hemsworth. Like I said, they're just their charm and just they're so easy to fall in love with on camera. You really enjoy this alien adventure, and it feels very much like a Men in Black movie. I thought that director F. Gary Gray did a really nice job of presenting a movie, like I said, that kind of feels like the first Men in Black and feels like it belongs in this universe without bombarding us with a ton of aliens, right? Or bombarding us with a ton of Easter eggs or things that we've seen from the other ones, right? We see the worms briefly in the movie. We don't see any pugs. But they add things and expand the universe out in a way that I think worked really nicely. And Yeah, would you like to see these two in maybe a more highbrow kind of caliber script? Sure. Could there be a more interesting story for them to tackle? Okay, but all I need for a movie like this is a fun time at the theater, and that's exactly what I get here. And I like what they do with kind of the overall story. There's this group of aliens called the Hive that Chris Hemsworth and Agent High T Liam Neeson kind of stopped back in the day, and that's kind of where a place where you kind of see mention of that same place they're able to tip the hat and make knowledge, nice acknowledgement of Tommy Lee Jones and Will Smith before this franchise. But what you come to find out is that it's possible that the Hive maybe has infiltrated the Men in Black. And while that storyline's going on, there's also these other two aliens played by Les Twins, who are French dancing set of twins that are just absolutely amazing. And they're so cool in this movie, man. They kind of serve as the main antagonist most of the way. And every time they show up, you get nervous, man, because they really incorporate their dance moves, man, into the movie. Real good. Way better than I can do. And it works well with the CG and the kind of the power sets that they give the two of them. I thought they created some really unique and interesting scenes, the way they kind of interact with physical objects and things of that nature. And their storyline, I really liked like how that played in and worked into the Chris Hemsworth and Tessa Thompson story, and then to the overall story that's kind of going on, like I said, with the Hive. That's kind of our main villain. And although the final showdown toward the end of the movie, it's a little quick, and maybe could have been slightly bigger. It really did feel very, very much like the first Men in Black. Is like when it started to go down, it was like, oh shoot, man, it's going down. Big action, big action, big action. Doom, over. Yeah, you could have expanded it, but I enjoyed it. And I enjoyed a lot of the cast here. There's a third member of this new Men in Black team, much like we had the Pug. Now we have this little samurai alien voiced by Kamal Nanjiani. Pawnee, we've seen him in the trailers, and he's a great ad, man. And Johnny just plays it perfectly. Like every time you need him, just drop line, much like you saw in the trailer, where like Chris Hemsworth is like the Men in Black, the men and women in black, and he's like, nice save. Those little one-liners are in there all over the place. I like how he's utilized in the overall story and how it plays, and he just adds a lot of nice comedic humor. They also bring in Rebecca Ferguson, who plays like an old flame of Chris Hemsworth's. We've seen her in the trailer. She kind of has a very unique characteristic to her kind of alien. That's a lot of fun. She has a really, fun scene with Chris Hemsworth and Tessa Thompson and Kamal Nanjiani's Pawnee. And I'm a big fan of Rebecca Ferguson from, obviously the Mission Impossible movies. But I thought she worked really well here, man. Her scenes are fun. I like what she brought to the movie. And overall, man, like I said, you just like this cast. Rafe Spall plays Agent C, who's another agent in London, who's very suspicious of Chris Hemsworth the whole movie. And there's reasons for that and kind of things that play out that all make sense. Liam Neeson does a really nice job, as does Emma Thompson. And everything that they kind of introduced, I thought worked, man. It's a nice expansion in the sense that we get to see a lot of places, man. It feels like one of those kind of big James Bond movies where he's traveling all over the world. And I liked all the locations that they chose. And even if the story is simplistic and it's not necessarily the smartest or trying to be the smartest thing, it's just trying to be entertaining. It provides nice action. I like the aliens that we do see. And while it doesn't overcram them, the ones that are on screen, they look nice and they're interesting. And I thought for most of the movie, the CGI and special effects worked really nice. The action set pieces were really solid. And yeah, there's a couple bumps here and there. But there's a couple bumps throughout the entire movie. But if you're coming here to get it back into the Men in Black universe, hang out with some aliens, and have a Men in Black adventure, I think that's exactly what this movie is. And you have two leads in Thompson and Hemsworth, along with Nanjiani, that really just can entertain you for a couple hours. So if you're looking to go kick back and just enjoy a typical summer blockbuster film, Men in Black International, not a bad go, man. You'll have a more enjoyable time than other people might let you think. So there you go, man. Those are all the Seaman's non-spoiler thoughts. Now I know what you're thinking about Men in Black International. Did you get out to the theater this weekend, Father's Day weekend? Did you take your dad to go see Men in Black International? If you did, or you just went on your own or with a group of friends, let me know what you were thinking, man. What worked, what didn't work? Did you like the movie? Did you dislike the movie? Do you think it doesn't need to exist at all? Or considering it was a soft reboot, could you get behind another one? I think Like I said, I would be down if you said they were going to do another Men in Black. I'd be like, I'll go watch this group again, man. They were a lot of fun. Did you feel that way, or do you just be like, no, please, just let the Men in Black die, let it go away? Let me know everything you're thinking there. If you haven't seen Men in Black International, has Seaman enticed you? Do you have any interest in it? Did you like the original franchise? Are you glad it's coming back? Do you have no interest? Anything you're thinking about Men in Black International goes below in the comments section. As always, if you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up. And if you're new here, you want to hang out with the old Seaman? Go hit that subscribe button and a little bell so you can get alerts every time I make a new video. For the Seaman's Cinema Sit Down, I'm the Seaman, and I'm signing off. Peace. Well, I'll be. You guys are still here. You must be looking for some more content. Well, don't worry. Seaman's got you covered, man. You got videos like this guy and this guy. And if you haven't yet, and you want to come check out all the Seaman goodies, join the Cinema Sit Down squad, man. Hit that subscribe button. And don't forget to hit the little bell down below that, too, so you can get alerts every time I make new videos.